All right, Shalom. This is Harawan Banyasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp, located right here in Jacksonville, Florida. Before I begin, I want to say Kal Halayim, La Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Harakah Kodash Ma'amah. Double honor to the elder apostles of GMS and the elders. Shalom to you, Akim, Nakwatim, and children that believe in sincerity and truth around the four corners of the earth. Um, this lesson today is going to be dealing with the king of Babylon. All right, let me show you because they got this protest coming up. All right, and this actually wasn't going to be my lesson, but I was planning on doing a different lesson. But this one popped up and pulled me in another direction. But yeah, it says there's an article that just came out. As we know, there's been protests all over America, all over the nation, popping up now. They're expecting it to increase. It's in Chicago, New York. Uh, um, Started off in L.A. Now those riots and protests are expected to start off in Tampa, Florida, with DeSantis. You know, he's a no nonsense type of guy. Um, so they basically bringing in National Guard. Allegedly, they brought in Marines, which is like extreme escalation. Um, you have ICE agents grabbing up women, children, separating families, grabbing families, um, and sending them across the border, right, kicking them out of America. Now, this is the same. What caught my attention is a few things. One is this article called "No King's Day Protest." All right, supposed to be a No King's Day protest that's supposed to happen during Trump's military parade. Just like Russia, you see North Korea, they got a military parade. Let me see if I can post something up. Supposed to happen when though? It says nationwide protests. When is it though? It looms over Trump's upcoming military parade. All right, when is the parade though? The parade and celebration will commence at 6:30. Or I guess today. Damn. But guests will be allowed in as early as 2 p.m. Is that today? On June 14th. Oh, 2 days. So on June 14th, they're calling it a festival. Now, we know Esau believes in order ab chaos, which is order out of chaos. A lot of chaos, and then they can try to set the order, a new order in place. All right. But now I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read something briefly. What do I want to read? There you go. I'm gonna read this article, and it's talking about something called No King's Day. And they put up. You see out there. You see the picture I got in the background of Trump looking like a Roman Caesar or a Roman king. That's the same word for a Caesar, which is a Kaiser, which means king. But this guy here, who we believe to be Nero back in the flesh, he's also known as the king of Babylon. Whoever the president is of America is known as the king of Babylon in the scriptures. And he could be that um, king of Babylon that's um, written in prophecy. Could be, man. All right. So now, I don't know which article I want to read. Let's go here first. Let's read the one about No King's Day. All right. And it says here, let's go there, share this tab. It says more than 1,500 No Kings protests. Damn, 1,500, not 1,500 people, but 1,500 protests around the nation are planned for the 14th. All right. of June. Now you allegedly have the Gaza protests, the Palestinians linking up with allegedly um, this this protest that they got going on now. I don't know what you hell you want to call it because to me it seems like an agenda. It seems like two sides, two opposing sides playing a move against each other, which we know the other side dealing with Biden, Harris, and all them, and you know the letter community. I saw a video where it was like, yeah, man, we gotta stop this tyranny because if we don't, they could come after us next. They can stop the TRANS, and then they could stop the all their little letter movements. So and if you see some of the wild protesters that's out there that they interview, you'll see they got a little sugar in their tank. So you get me, agent provocateurs, man, and you'll see a lot of Edomites out there. All right, so just like with the BLM, the BLM Baal Lucifer Molech move protest, just like that, same thing, but just on a more escalated scale because they want to get this guy out of office. All right, more than 1,500 No Kings protests planned amid Trump's crackdown on LA demonstrations. More than 1,500 No Kings Day demonstrations are set to take place across the U.S. this weekend to protest the Trump administration as President Donald Trump holds a military parade in Washington, D.C. All right, which is basically like the Roman Empire all over again. And they're pushing those draconian measures, those harsh Roman style rules, where it's the elites or the government against the people, and that's what caused the disintegration of the ancient Roman Empire when it fell. All right, but then it got healed again through the establishment of America, NATO, and EU. So the demonstrations will take place all over the country on Saturday. So it's this Saturday. There's always something happening when we out there teaching. Coinciding with the parade Trump has planned to mark the U.S. Army's 250th birthday. I ain't no birthdays ain't that damn serious. Ezra Levin, Ezra Levin, the co-founder and co-executive director of the progressive organization Indivisible, uh, that's behind No King's Day, told MSNBC on Monday that the protests, originally announced last month, have generated overwhelming interest in the aftermath of the administration's response to the immigration related protests in LA. So we should be expecting that No Kings protests on Saturday. But let me get something real quick. Let's get Proverbs 10 and 15. This is Proverbs 10 and 15. It says, the rich man's wealth is his strong city. All right. So the rich man's wealth is just like the Roman Empire. They all up until Augustus Caesar, they had the whole thing was about keeping peace in the Roman Empire. They didn't want any rebellions or uproars of the people. All right, or sedition, because they knew that would be the fall of the damn empire. All right. It says the rich man's wealth is his strong city. All right. And that's what they're trying to show right now, strength. That's what Trump's trying to show by enforcing um, the military and the police. All right, giving them the green light is a show of strength, trying to keep their cities strong, as they say. the businesses. So the rich man's wealth is his strong city. The destruction of the poor is their poverty. So ultimately, it becomes oppression to the poor. All right. Um, the rich trying to stay richer. Ultimately, they're going to keep the poor poor. That's a divide. That's separation. That's what creates an economy. Rich, poor, or middle class, and then they circulate the wealth between those parties. That's an economy. Um, but in this society, it's set up for the poor to get more poor and stay poor. All right. The destruction of the poor is their poverty. It ultimately ends in the demise of those strong cities. All right. So let's get this. Matter of fact, I'm gonna read this one. The rich man's wealth is his strong city. The destruction of the poor is their poverty. The labor, so their whole thing is destroying the poor. Look what they're doing to those Mexicans, which is Issachar in the scriptures, and a lot of those Manassites, Cubans. Uh, um, but funny thing is, you hear about Trump letting in a bunch of Edomites from Africa, giving them um, refuge. All right, the labor of the righteous tendeth to life, man. So he was a righteous leader. He attend to enhancing the life of the people. But instead, they're into building up the corporations in their own rich pockets. The fruit of the wicked is sin, man, and you can see it. Look at the chaos and all the confusion out here. All right, so let me get this. Um, let's go to what I wanted. That's right, because they got him set up like the king. Let's get that real quick. Isaiah 14 and 4. Isaiah 14, 4. Let's go here. All right. Now, so like I'm just making sure I got sound on here. Please don't be tripping. Isaiah 14 and 4. It says now, actually 14 and 3. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow. And it shows all this is like contractions before the destruction comes. You know, um, and we're seeing the precursor to what's coming. You know, even with ICE, with them being like madmen. The scriptures say they're gonna be like madmen, sparing none, going house to house, snatching people up. So we can kind of see a glimpse of that with what they're doing now with ICE. And it shall come to pass in that day that the Lord Yahweh shall give thee rest from thy sorrow and from thy fear. Everything we're seeing now and that we saw ever since slavery. And from the hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Man, we still serving it today, having to clock in and out, dealing with work. That's a form of servitude. That thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. So who's the king of Babylon today? The great city, America, is uh Trump. He's in that position. And the way it's set up is that those Republicans are not going to be out of office till like 2030 or some shit. So they kind of set him up like a king. All right. And his actions, he's moving like a king. They're not moving power to the people. They're moving as power to the president. All right. Um, he's not even listening to the Democrats or any other parties. And that shows you, let me get something else, that the scriptures are true when it mentions this right here. I'm going to show you. Revelations 13, and let's start from 11. It says, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and that's America, all right? The kingdom, the beast, the immoral entity. And he had two horns like a lamb. So he had two opposing sides, man. That's how you know we're in the last days, and it's dealing with prophecy. Two opposing sides, two horns. Horns represent something that's exalted. So the exalted points here in America is Democratic and Republican. Two sides of the same bird, two wings of the same bird, eagle. Two sides, two ends of the same animal. They got the donkey and the damn elephant or some shit as their symbols. But well, they're two opposing sides that are set up for prophecy because really the Roman Empire is ruling everything, or England, or Europe, however you want to look at it. Those bankers, all right, and the puppets or the deception is within those two horns, the Democratic and Republican parties. So now that the Republicans are on the top, you got the Democrats pulling the rug from under their feet with what you see today. And he spake as a dragon, so they're pushing all those draconian measures. All right, draconian is like harsh punishment or measures that are placed upon the citizens, which is going to cause the citizens, the common people, to rise up against the dragon, or rise up against the beast, or rise up against the two horns. All right. So those two opposing sides, the Democratic and Republican parties, are written in the scriptures. Revelations 13 and 11, the two horns. And like a lamb, that's when going to the politicians acting like they're innocent, a God fearing nation. But really, they're pushing all the pagan and order ab chaos, right? And the oppressive policies as the Roman Empire in Europe. So we'll go back to this article. It says more than 1,500 people, or no, protests on No Kings Day, protest planned amid Trump crackdown on LA demonstrations. Man. Right, I said the king. Let me go back here. It says here, Isaiah 14 and 4, that thou shalt take up this proverb against the king of Babylon. All right. And we're taking up that proverb now against him and say, how hath the oppressor ceased? The golden city ceased, man. It's falling. It's disintegrating from within. The same way the ancient Roman Empire did. Let's get that real quick. Look at this. It says 2,000 years ago, the famous republic, talking about the Roman Empire, had a chance to reject a dangerous populace. It failed, and the rest is history. All right, so it was the rich against the poor. America is eerily retracing Rome's steps. See, speak as a dragon, to a fall. Will it turn around before it's too late? No, it's not going to turn around. And this was from 2020, an article from 2020. All right. Now, this is something that caught my eye right here. It says populace. So the dangerous, the Republic, the Roman Republic had a chance to reject a dangerous populace. Let's see what that word populace means. All right. Populace, it means a person, especially a politician, just like Trump and or the Democratic Party, used to cause a divide amongst their citizens. Other than that, it'll just be the public figuring it out themselves. But instead, they got two hands in place that can push people apart. One hand is called Democratic, other one called uh, Republican. They said one is left, one is the right, but both of them wicked. Both of them on the left hand side. A person, especially a politician who strives to appeal to ordinary people, just like the Democrats try to do, who feel, and the Republicans, that their concerns are disregarded by established elite groups, man. So certain politicians that say, "Hey, we'll be on your side to stand up against the other side," they got an agenda, man. It sound like Biden and them and Harris. All right, relating to a characteristic of a political approach that strives to appeal to ordinary people who feel that their concerns are disregarded by established elite groups, man, which would cause a insurrection, a sedition. All right, party leaders plan to reprise the yeah. So anyway, so they'll use one side of the citizens to go against the government, and that's called a populace. They appeal to one faction of the ordinary people. Now, you had something at that time, um, different parties. One was called the plebeians, and the other one was called the patricians. All right, the patricians was like the elites today, like Trump and all them. All right, but then you had the plebeians, which was basically common people. I'm gonna show you. It says here in ancient Rome, political parties in the modern sense didn't exist. See, but they borrowed from that concept today. However, the plebeians, the common citizens, they were called plebeians, had their own distinct political structures and representatives. They formed assemblies like concilium plebis. So anyway, I'm gonna get to the point. So now, then you had the plebeians, which were basically represented the common citizens, all right, and they had their own political setup. But then on the other hand, you had the patricians, and in ancient Rome, patricians were the wealthy upper class elite, while plebeians were the common people. And then you get a populace in there that plays both parties against each other, just like the ancient Roman Empire, just like today, which will cause the divide. Satan divided. You see, Satan against itself. That kingdom has an end, and it will not stand. It's going to disintegrate from within and be destroyed from without. All right. So patricians were the wealthy upper class elite, while plebeians were the common people. Patricians held most of the political and social power, while plebeians were generally farmers, merchants, and craftsmen with limited political rights. The term plebeian referred to all free Roman citizens who were not patricians. And then you get a populace or somebody, another politician in there that can play them against each other. All right. Thus, you had all the rebels and Vikings, soldiers rising up against the Roman Empire, um, causing its ultimate demise. So, and that's why it just it's, let me get this. Here you go. Here you go. It says America is eerily retracing Rome's steps to a fall, man. Just like the ancient Roman Empire, also under Nero at that time. All right. Um, and then you have the king of Babylon. Same way Babylon uh, was destroyed. You see that? Today, Americans will choose between two radically different paths: a populist ideology transforming the values of the country itself, in an attempt to reject it. However, unprecedented these times might feel, it's a decision. Let me zoom in. It's a decision as old as democracy itself, and democracy goes back to the Greek Empire. Over 2,000 years ago, the republic on which America was modeled faced the same choice. The Donald Trump of his day, Julius Caesar, see, just like a Kaiser, promised to return Rome to an imagined ancient glory, right? Because before that, they had no Caesar until Donald Trump. Julius Caesar stood up and stole the hearts of the common people and set up a political party against the Senate of Rome. All right, and the Senate of Rome is spoken about in Second Ezra 11 and 12 in the Apocrypha, but instead constructed himself a throne. Damn, that was Julius Caesar, bulldozing democratic norms, ignoring checks on his power, and eroding political debate, just like Trump doing right now. Rome chose to follow Caesar, putting the famed republic on a glide path to destruction. It's like everybody voted for Trump. There's a lot of people that voted for Trump. So they gave you the worst of the two evils, either one. They only gave you two choices, and both of them bad, Democrat or Republican. Trump himself would undoubtedly relish any characterizations as the American Caesar. Damn, the American Caesar. That's a lesson. Somebody can name their John, American Caesar. The American Caesar, King of Babylon. No King's Day. The American Caesar. That's deep. I gotta put it on this picture for that one. Sheesh. Hey, draw. Hold on. Here you go. The American Caesar. All right. Um, but that comparison is more damning than he might like. Like Trump, Julius Caesar was already a celebrity when he took the highest office in Rome. Oh shit. And he could be Caesar too. Not just Nero. You never know. And despised by much of the ruling class as a leader. And they wanted to take Caesar out too. Dang, you never know, man, who people are. Some say he's Nero. It could be Julius Caesar back in the flesh. You just never know. And despised by much of the ruling class as a leader. Questions were constantly raised about his fitness for office. More than simply unconventional, he operated within a entirely new set of rules, overturning procedure just like Trump doing, and bending the law whenever it was expedient. He was regularly derided for his personal foibles. So anyway, so I ain't gonna read all this damn. All right, it seemed interesting though. Um, Let me see. I'm gonna read this one. Most objectionable to his critics, however, was the explosive form of his message, which threatened to tear the fabric of the state apart. Like Trump, Caesar, like Trump, Caesar spoke directly to the people, railing against traditional elites, complaining about non-citizens taking jobs and encouraging violence. Oh shit. Just like Julius Caesar, man. He was complaining about non-citizens taking jobs and encouraging violence. Romans had assumed their republic could weather the threat of iconoclastic populism, right? Basically dividing the parties against each other. That their norms were sacrosanct, right? That their system couldn't be brought down, but the consulship of Julius Caesar shattered this illusion in the same way that Trump and Trumpism have radically reconfigured the boundaries of acceptability in modern U.S. politics, revealing cracks in the ability of institutions to withstand the creep of authoritarianism, man. And that's the Roman ideology is authoritarianism. So you see the divide, man. Um, and the Lord said that He was gonna do that. Let me get that real quick if I can find it. Hey, when you looking up something you can't find it all of a sudden. I'm gonna get it here. There you go. This is Isaiah 19 and 2. Let's go there real quick. Isaiah 19 and 2. This is Isaiah 19 and 2, right? Let me get this picture for a backdrop. Um, all right. I need a good one. Cause this is gonna get worse. LA riots this week. They give me all kind of weird pictures. Mm-hmm. Open link a new tab. I'm gonna share this tab. I'm gonna read this scripture. This is Isaiah 19 and 2. I will set the Egyptians, and today the spiritual mindset of the Egyptians representing the common people is the citizens of America. So I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. That's what time we in, man. All right, and but they don't understand. We wrestle not against flesh or blood, but spiritual wickedness in high places that are causing and puppeting and manipulating this government into a divide, into chaos, in which they'll try to bring a new world order in behind it. So this is definitely written in scripture for this to happen. All right. Let me get this. I'm gonna go Second Ezra 15. Hopefully I don't lose my sound. Second Ezra 15. I want the GNT right now. I just want the 15. There you go. KJV. All right, still got my sound. So Second Ezra 15. Let's go to let's go to 14. The Second Ezra 15 and 14. And it says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." All right, I'm gonna put a little picture up as a backdrop. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. All right. Um, now let's go to 12. It says, damn, verse 10. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. People that's coming over here from Mexico, different places that trusted Biden, they were led to like sheep or flock to the slaughter, leading them into America. To just like Martin Luther King said, I feel like I've led my people into a burning house. You know, they got led over here and led in by the Biden administration and into a trap. Now look how they're being treated, and they even Allegedly, I heard they were putting alligators out in the water so people can't cross the border. Behold, my people is led as a flock to the slaughter. I will not suffer them now to dwell in the land of Egypt. So spiritually, again, America is that Egypt today. But I will bring them with a mighty hand and a stretched out arm and smite Egypt with plagues. And part of those plagues is the disintegration that we see of their government today. The mirth of the land is gone. The peace between the government and the people is gone. All right, they say power to the people. All right, the people is a political party in itself, um, and the government is supposed to work for the people, but instead you see the government um, pushing draconian measures on the people. You know, oppressing the people. Um, so Egypt with plagues, and this is part of it we're witnessing today, in the economic fall, et cetera, et cetera, as before, and will destroy all the land thereof. So he destroyed Egypt before, so now he's going to destroy this Egypt. Egypt shall mourn, the people, I mean, the foundation of it shall be smitten with the plague and punishment that Yahweh shall bring upon it. And this, we're seeing part of it now. Uh, so now let's go here, verse 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And that's what we're seeing. When we see this happening in the world, insurrections, sedition, uh, wars and rumors of wars, et cetera, we know that their destruction draweth nigh. The day of judgment is getting close. And one people shall stand up and fight against another. All right, it's happening. And swords in their hands. And that didn't happen yet. You still see Jake, a lot of Issachar grabbing boulders and rocks, which they were already. You got people breaking up concrete. You got people setting up pallets of center blocks in place so they can just throw them at the police, causing a drastic military response. All right. So this is going. It could spark up into something even worse. So one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. So someday they're going to have weapons. For there shall be sedition among men. This is prophecy, man. All right, sedition. Let's get that real quick. Definition. Sedition is a conduct or speech inciting people to rebel against the authority of a state or a monarch. In this sense, that monarch is Trump. So and who's inciting it? The populace dealing with the Democrats, allegedly. All right. So sedition, inciting people to rebel against authority of a state, in like LA or the United States, or against a monarch, and they look at Trump as that monarch today. They look at him like the king and shit. You know. So it says, for there shall be sedition among men and invading, because that's all they are, just men, the politicians and all that, and invading one another. Right, just like they're invading each other's borders. All right, and that's prophecy. The Lord said, "I shall fill thee with men as caterpillars." That's an invasion. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, so they don't. They're not. They like that's why they out there like F Trump and all that, and the governors and mayors. In the course of their actions shall stand in their power, meaning power to the people, and they're trying to uh, either cause regime change or topple the government, whatever their plan is, change policies, and they're taking their power into their own hand. All right, a man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able to. So we're seeing examples of that now. Them shutting down the borders, but it's going to be even worse than that. Look, you can look at the Hawaii fires where they were stopping people from going in certain parts of the city. All right, you're going to have places like Texas that's not with it. You know, for because of their pride, the cities shall be troubled. So, because of the uprisings, that's what this means. Because of the internal fighting, like we're seeing today, those cities are going to be troubled. All right, like a bunch of women. I just noticed that. But anyway, because of the sedition, the cities are going to be troubled. Okay, so because of that sedition, the cities are troubled. Let me get this one right here. They say they want the ICE out of their communities. That's deep. All right. So this is all prophetic that we're seeing, man. It says but because of their pride, because of the infighting and the division, the cities shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. So come on, man. So we're in that time, and it's gonna be even worse than this once when you see the dollar crash, man. The economy crash, and there's no food on the shelves. People lose their jobs, et cetera, et cetera. It's gonna be even worse. So like, I got the damn squirrel trying to climb up my screen and get my bird seeds. But yeah, that was my quick lesson on this topic, dealing with Donald Caesar Trump, the king of Babylon, and they're gonna crash his party on Saturday, and they calling him the king of Babylon, the king of this modern day Roman Empire. Um, yeah, it said the American Caesar. Hey man, so we definitely in a time of heavy prophecy kicking off, and yeah, keep your mind in the scriptures and stay focused, man, because all hell about to break loose. They got the chaos. The flames already started. Now it may turn into an inferno. No King's Day set for Saturday, the 14th. Protests nationwide. 1,500 protests looms over Trump's military parade, which is going to cause a lot of damage to the infrastructure here, the economy, the corporations, and also to the people. But it's a time of prophecy. With that, I'm going to say shalom.